Welcome to the Racing Nuggets podcast. I'm PJ Noodleman, joined by my co-host from the Midwest Racing Connection, Dan Plan.
Hello, digging your cool new background there.
Thanks. I thought that was appropriate, not because our guests wreck, but because our guests sometimes have to deal with drivers who don't want to get beat by girls. I'm just going to say that. Please welcome Taylor Goldman and Julie Jorgenson. Welcome. You girls are kicking butt with what you're doing, and you both come from quite the lineage with your family history. How exciting is this to be like a family sport big time for you guys?
I couldn't imagine anything else other than doing this with my family. I mean, I grew up going to the racetrack since I was born. So it's really amazing to see how much everybody can come together as a family, because my sister sometimes sings the national anthem, and me, my brother, and my dad all race. So it's really fun.
A big family ordeal you guys have. Makes me feel really small because it's just me and my dad.
We've got a big family with that. Racers.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's a really cool opportunity to carry on, what my dad started when I was born. Same thing with Julie. I grew up at the racetrack watching my dad. So being able to now race myself, it's pretty neat.
And your dads for sure are very proud of you. I mean, obviously that goes without saying, but I don't know your dad as well, Taylor, as I do Julie's dad. I think everybody has either had a beer with Conrad or danced with Conrad at the Pink Flamingo. Dan, you probably, you probably have more Conrad stories than any of us.
I've got some good Dave ones too. You're really missing out on something if you haven't met Dave yet, because that is nonstop excitement.
You say in the most unexcited, that is nonstop excitement.
He really downplays it.
Oh my goodness. So seriously, girls, how much help have your dads been as you've started on your trajectory?
You want to go first?
Sure. My dad has just given me the reins, and he's like, here, you know what? We'll see what you can do with it. And when you're ready to start getting more into it. When I first started, he's like, is it good? I'm like, yep. So we just left it how it was. And as I was getting better and learning more about the car, he was just like, okay, tell me what's wrong. And then I tell him, and he's like, okay, we'll fix this. And it was better. So he has really helped with just his knowledge on everything. He can understand what I'm putting into words to put it onto the car. And he has been nonstop supportive of everything I've been doing. He is the biggest, I don't know. He's just always put us first. Like when me and my brother are racing, he sometimes forget about his car, and then he's like, oh crap, that's what we have to do now.
Nice. How about you, Taylor?
In a lot of ways.
I mean, it's definitely the parallel to Julie. I trying to be a child and, be involved in your dad's racing. And then when you get told that it's your time to take over the steering wheel, you kind of get really excited, but you don't really understand the work that goes into it behind everything. And having a dad that is willing to, not only be the role of your dad, but also your crew, and most importantly, your crew chief and mechanic. It's huge how much I think both of our dads help out.
Yeah.
But what Julie and I feel like we differ from some people, boys and girls, is Julie and I both want to learn though about the car. We want to be able to not only just say, well, it's loose here, tight here. We want to be able to actually be more specific in our terms and have our dads fix the cars. Cause we want to do good, but we also want to be a product of our environment and be able to work on the car and say, yeah, we did that. As a team, we did that. My dad and I, we did that.
Nice.
So
dads have a tendency to be protective of their kids, particularly of their daughters. So have there been any incidences where your dads were like ready to just tear somebody's head off and, I don't know, crap down their neck?
Yeah, my dad has gotten kicked out for a few weeks because he was angry about one incident.
Hold on, I got a really funny story, and Julie's dad takes the cake for this. So my dad, we had an incident at Elko. We got kicked, or excuse me, my dad got kicked out. So they told my dad that you can bring the trailer in, you can park the trailer, and then you have to leave. And my dad was like, "Well, how am I supposed to set the car up? This and that." They were like, that's what you get for being kicked out. You got to figure that out on your own." So what my dad did was sat on the other side of the fence and told our crew team that, this is what you got to do and this and that. Well, not that long after my dad got kicked out, Julie's dad got kicked out, totally one up to my dad, and started selling lemonade for $5 a cup.
Yeah. And then he put all the proceeds to Youth Impact Racing. So it did actually help out, but it was just hilarious because he even had a disguise too in case they caught him.
Yeah, I remember driving in that night because driving down, there's a sidewalk right before the entrance to Elko, and there's the
Yeah.
golf cart with the little lemonade stands, the umbrella. Yeah, I recognized every piece of equipment that was sitting there.
Yeah.
What was his disguise?
He had a little wig and then a mustache. It wasn't a very good one, but it was a disguise.
Mustache.
That's hilarious.
I mustache you a question.
So at least it wasn't just on his finger, it was an actual mustache.
Oh my goodness. So what are
Yeah.
your aspirations with racing then? Where do you hope to see your careers go?
Obviously I want to continue inspiring and being a part of trying to grow women in motorsports. That's a huge point to me, especially with doing this women in motorsports program that Julie and I are a part of. I really want to do what I can to be a part of that. And, sure, diversity all around, yeah, but to have more women though in NASCAR would be super cool. Obviously at our home track at Elko and at Lacrosse, obviously men don't like getting beat by a girl. So I'd like to really give them a challenge, whether it be from your local series to ARCA to your truck race to let's get to the top. Let's do the big boys and see what happens. I don't know. It'd be cool to be either that driver or to be part of that team or somehow, be a part of that development. And then, but personally for myself though, it'd be really cool to be able to travel with the ARCA series. I don't know. I love the whole, the big haulers and pulling into racetracks and just, it's like mini NASCAR. I don't know. It's just it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, I'm with Taylor about just with the guys not liking to be beat by girls. Me and Taylor are very strong-headed, and it'd be really fun to see if me and her or other girls like us were to work our way up through the rankings and just kind of prove to them that, we're we're right up there too. But for me personally, I like Taylor would love to race ARCA because just being able to travel and then you can go from big tracks to small tracks and still have your local feeling because like they go to Elko and that, I mean, eventually I would like to just see how far up I can get, how much that I can grow and improve and see what we can accomplish. But I don't know. I've been taking it one class at a time. I'm going to be moving up to Thunder Cars next year, so that's my next big step. But
She doesn't have that long. She'll climb a lot faster than I will because she's already kicking my ass. So
but well, that's what happens when you have a Conrad Jorgenson built car with him working on it. Um, but yeah, I just can't wait to see where I go. No matter where I end up, I'm gonna be excited to work my way through. But definitely want to get to a traveling series. That sounds a lot of fun with the big haulers.
exactly.
Now, Julie, I think you got your start in quarter midgets. You ran a season or two back in the day with Jimmy.
Yeah, I think it was probably a season and a half, maybe. I don't think we started with the full season the first year, but that was really what kind of got me into it. I really liked going fast and turning left. And it really gave you the sense of racing because, you get the urge to go farther, like go faster and want to beat your competitors and all your friends because they're, all of us kids hung out together. It's a bunch of fun in the quarter midget.
Yeah, more and more that I'm around it now, with it being so big, I realize how many people have come through the ranks. And I think, Taylor, you're pretty heavily involved right now with helping out the kids that are racing currently, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. So on Sundays when they race, I'm in the chute making sure that those kids are safe to hit the track, make sure that they can hear Tristan Swanson on the radio, making sure that their transponders on, making sure that their Hans device is connected, seatbelts tight. They have wrist restraints, making sure that those are good. Everything, any little aspect that I can make sure those kids are safe. Because I mean, definitely they are the future of NASCAR right there. And so whatever I can do to be involved to help make sure that they're safe, I will do what I can. But yeah, it's unbelievable at how many kids are doing that right now. I think we have like 50 something kids, boys and girls right now. So it's neat.
Yeah, it's great to see how much it's grown since I have been
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And Taylor, I think I was talking to your dad Saturday, and you reminded, because I thought you two had raced together, and he was quick to point out that you beat him both times that you raced against him in power stocks. Julie, have you raced against your dad?
In the
Or did he
Thunder
just do
car,
a start?
yeah.
Did he just do a
Um,
start park and didn't want to get beat by a girl?
yeah. Well, he was gonna run out of gas. But we'll go. I like your theory better. I've raced with him in the Thunder cars a few times, but I also had a car that wasn't necessarily set up for me and just kind of actually got pulled out of the weeds and freshened up, and then we went racing. So I wasn't very competitive with my dad, but I have raced against him. So we'll see how it goes when he gets his Thunder car ready and I have mine, and
I think
then that's going to be the real challenge. That's be real fun because I'm definitely going to beat him because I have the fresher mind.
We need to get Dave a car. I think he could still be competitive too.
I'm scared to see him in any car. He'll work his way up to the front one way or the other.
What's the best piece of advice either one of your dads gave you?
To always remember the number one rule, which is to have fun.
Dang.
Yep.
That's a great one because that's not what my dad said.
Yeah, that's every time before I go out. He gives me knucks. He says, "Go fast, turn fun," or no, go fast, turn left, and have fun. And then he always asks me when I'm in a bad mood. He's like, "Well, what's the number one rule?" And I said, "Have fun." So that, yeah, that's mine. What about you?
Mine is not good like yours. The one that sticks to my head right now, because we've had a pretty tough year. I mean, I think I've gone through 9 wheels and like 3 noses for the car.
Not you.
It'd be to, let's see, be a cool cucumber, because hot head over here. And then the second one is you'll have a lot of bad nights and a few good nights. So when you have a good night, make sure you really carry it high. See, it's not as cool as yours.
That second one was good.
I love that. I think that's
Uh,
pretty cool. It's pretty obvious that your dads are very proud of what you've done already, and there obviously is way more yet to come for the two of you. What's that like though, being such good friends but yet tight competitors too?
It's really fun actually because I could be like, "Hi, Taylor," as I'm driving. She doesn't know that I'm saying that, but I'm like, "Oh, there you go." I root for her all the time. I see her going, and I'm like, "Go, go, go!" So it's really fun. But we've raced each other in power stocks, and we always race each other clean. We never bumped into each other. Like we have Robin's racing, but it was always so fun to race with Taylor because we were both trying our hardest, but we were very clean with each other, which you don't find very often. Well, you can, but there are those sometimes where, you're running for that and you don't get the cleanness. But with Taylor, it's always fun. Always fun.
I don't know. It's I catch myself almost like when Julie's racing in front of me, I feel like I'm watching her rather than what's in front of me. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like you're still racing yourself there, pal. Don't do that. But I it is so cool to be able to race not only with a girl who is really cool, a girl who's really competitive, but a girl who's actually really honestly become my best friend. This whole experience of getting to know Julie and helping each other honestly in racing and becoming two peas in a pod, it's neat to be able to race against your best friend who all we do is support each other. There's no negativity. There's no baloney. It's always what can you do to better yourself or, maybe have a little bit more work in this area or, try and do this maneuver. It's just, I don't know. It's super cool to have somebody that's like you in your corner.
Yeah, very well said.
I love that. How long have you guys known each other? Did you just grow up together at the track, or how did y'all get to know each other?
When I started racing at 15 is when I started going into the pits, and I kind of got to know Taylor a little bit because I was racing with her. So it's probably been about 9 years, 10 years since we've known each other.
I'm an old goat compared to Julie. I have some years on her, but no, we've known each other for, yeah, I think you're right, like about like 9-10 years, but our our friendship really didn't kick off until Julie. I don't know, I went over there one day and I was like, you know what, this girl's got something that I don't think she really understands her potential, and I just needed to word vomit everything that this girl has because her determination and her skills were quite impressive. I've raced with some other girls in power stocks, and I'm not, it's not like I didn't like them or I didn't think that they had potential or whatever, but Julie was definitely a product of her environment. She was fast, she is fast, and she was determined to do better. So it was cool to watch her develop. I didn't really say much. And then when I started coming over there, both her and I feel like kind of exploded into, really actually turning some laps and doing well as drivers. So yeah.
It's always really nice too to have Taylor to go and talk to about all of this because yeah, we can talk to all of our crew guys or whatever about things, but with Taylor, it's like we can really get at it because we both understand what we're talking about. And like just the supportiveness of everything, it's been so great because I don't know, she comes over and she's like, you're gonna do good. And I'm like, maybe I am, but if anybody else does, I don't believe them. So something about her just makes my gears go.
That's cool. Well, and again, I hate to keep making a big deal about it because the more big deal we make about it, the bigger deal everybody looks at it. But being a female and racing, that in and of itself is a whole piece that you have to have on your shoulders at all times. So in addition to all the other stuff with racing that every racer deals with, you guys have this extra thing that you have to contend with because out on the track, you are going to have jack wagons that don't want to be beat by a girl and they're going to run you dirty for it. But it can happen, and that's just something extra to deal with. So for the two of you to have each other, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because there's quite a bit that we have to deal with you can tell that they're doing it just because you watch them race other girls and then you see us too. And then it's like, okay, well, I know that move was just because I am who I am. But it's really nice having her to just be able to vent to. So because she understands.
What's neat too is because Julie still races power stocks. I raced power stocks for a long time, and some of those same people are still in that class. And there's a couple particular people that Julie and I have both raced with that make some certain moves that they did to me, and I can see them exactly happening to Julie. And I climb the fence and I'm screaming. I know that they can't hear me, but it makes me feel better in the mood. But it just, it's unbelievable to me that some people will go out of their way to be a jerk to you because you're a girl. Like, are you kidding me? I have a helmet on. I have a fireproof suit on. I have a 5-point seat harness on. I'm the same thing as you, just trying to race, have fun. I might have different parts, but does it matter? Like, I don't, it does, it shouldn't matter. And it does. And I don't know about you, but it cracks me up that grown men have such a heyday about getting their ass beat by a girl.
I think the funny thing is that when I raced my dad, well, it's my car, my Thunder car, but it had my dad's body on it. Half the people didn't know that it was my dad, or it wasn't my dad. They all thought it was him and not me. So when I climbed out of that car, there was a lot of like, Julie was driving that. So I think that made me pretty happy about it, because it's like, well, they're thinking that this is my dad, and then I hop out of it and it's like, yeah, here's proof that we're one and the same. Like, there's no anything different about it.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah, because I mean, the fans don't know unless you say the name.
Right.
And so I don't know. It makes me happy a little bit when people try to, make their moves, because we're not going to take it, because we grew up with our dads and everything, and it works out perfectly, because it's just funny to see them kind of like get in their own head about trying to get into you, and you're like, okay, bye-bye, and you just leave.
But I mean, hold on though. So PJ, I think you're totally right though. It's not like you want to gloat on the fact that, yeah, I'm a girl driver and blah blah blah, and men do this and do that. But the thing is, it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. We are here to race. We do well, and some men just can't handle it, and it still happens to this day. And then on the other end of things, I don't know if you get this. You have to get this, because so the pits open up, right? And fans come down. I have pink on my car, and it looks like a fairy threw up on my car with sparkles, and they still don't know that it's a girl. Like, they just their facial expression, they just don't understand. How are like, you're the driver? Yeah. And then I send them over to Julie to be like, there's another driver over there, and they're like, no way.
Yeah, there's a lot of times if I'm standing next to a guy, they're like, can you sign this? And I'm like, well, I can sign it. I'm the driver. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So it's just great seeing the reactions when they find out that we're the drivers.
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to know, are either of you planning to come down to run Oktoberfest in Lacrosse?
My dad always says, don't bring a race car to a party. But depending on how these points go for women in motorsports, I might convince him. So
you have to.
If they only go through September, then no. But if they do go through October, then I'll probably convince him to go.
I'm just going to try and work on it no matter what to convince her to go, because I don't want to race down there by myself for a fun weekend, because that's a big deal. So I need my pal there, because I want to go race with her too. So
and when I was down there the first time, I didn't get to race because my motor blew up.
I know.
So maybe I'm gonna make that happen.
Just make a deal with your dads that you're just gonna race Thursday night in the Lacrosse Sportsman, and then park the car for the rest of the weekend. And then you can still race, but still have 3 nights to party. So
we can just party after.
Right.
We'll be all right.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We're determined 2 individuals, so I think we'll get this done.
Dan, I like that. That's like the mullet plan. It's all business in the front.
yes,
Thursday, party in the back.
You got it.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Good stuff. More questions from you, Dan?
Well, this one's kind of a smart aleck question, but with being part of the women in motorsports, and they're sponsored by Busch, they've had Busch Apple and Busch Peach beer. Now with Ross Chastain being sponsored by him, do you think next year they'll come out with Busch Watermelon? I think it'll happen, but no, I didn't have any questions. I was going to say, I have several friends that are NASCAR friends. They're not into short track racing. And the women that are currently in the upper levels of NASCAR, I tell them I know 2 girls that could drive circles around the girls in the upper levels of racing right now. They just don't have the pocketbooks to be there.
Yeah. I'm hoping though, with this women in motorsports deal, obviously the goal is to not only get exposure, obviously, hopefully you get in the money here, lady,
I'm
and
working on it.
stay on the top. I want this to come true. I want us to get the exposure because I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just being biased, but maybe not myself, but I don't know. I think that she's got the talent to rock it in a high level, but we both don't have the pocketbooks for that kind of stuff. And it's so unfortunate that not even some of the what do you call them, the scouts that come look. It's like, how do you not see her? How do you not see me?
Right.
I mean, we stir up a lot of opinions and we do a really good job.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how talent like yours, how do you not get noticed? And it's and I'm there are plenty of other girls too. I'm not saying that we're the only two, but
Mhm.
when you look at some of the stuff on TV and you're like, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't have, $100,000 to go dump on a weekend event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely agree with that.
for sure. Well, I gotta say, I think it's pretty cool that I predict we're gonna a very talented female racers coming out of Minnesota, specifically that Elko area with the mini Elko deal going on. There are a lot of little wheel ladies that are racing there too. So you guys really are quite the mentor, the influence for some of these other youngsters coming up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all of these little girls getting into it because I'm hoping that it sticks with them like it did with us and they just keep moving up like, and wanting to get better and faster and see what else they can accomplish because it's so cool seeing all those little girls that are, coming up to you and they're like, "Oh, we race at Little Elko and it's always, we always watch you." And it's refreshing to know that we are good influences and there are going to be more girls like us instead of us drowning it out. They're going to be coming full. The track is going to become more full with women drivers than men. I think it's going to become pretty equal in the next few years here.
I give those
Yeah.
girls a hard time too at Little Elko. I always say, are you guys tired of racing at the little track here? Because Julie and I need some competition. Like, let's go. Get your dads to fork out the pocketbook here. Let's get some big cars and come kick my ass up there, and I don't know, there's some serious talent though at Little Elko. I mean, like the Gady girls, Reese, holy smokes, that girl hauls the mail. I mean, she's unbelievable. She's broken just like how many track records. And then you got Tim Olson's granddaughter. She's really come out of her shell this year. It's just, and then there's a bunch of girls in the rookie class too. I don't know, we might be in trouble.
I love it. I love it. Do you have anything else, Dan, you want to cover?
No, I thought this went exceptionally well.
I do want to see a race that is just 4 cars with you 2 girls and your dads on the track. I think that would be super cool.
I think we could probably figure something like that out. You put a good idea into these heads.
Oh my God.
That'd be
That's
really
genius.
Well, if too bad they didn't crush the frat cars, we could have just
I
went on
know.
those. I'll make my dad scrounge up.
Well,
some
yeah.
songs.
We'll figure something out and we're gonna have to make that happen.
Yeah.
And then what we should do is we should invite you out so you can have the suite one night and we'll show you how Minnesotans party over here and we'll take care of you and we'll have a good old time.
I would love that. I would love that.
We'll
Well,
put you up
girls-
I can put you up in the Dolphin too. I know this campground in Elko. It's called Brothers Jorgenson Racing. They got hookups and everything for me. So
Yeah, they do.
Nice. Well, Dan, you are very connected, I know.
I don't have a suite, but
You got a
I was
dog.
always
shop.
thinking of renting an apartment upstairs at Captain Black's and calling it my summer home because everybody's got summer homes in Minnesota. So I could just use that on weekends.
Right.
Conduct business there. It'd be a
Yeah,
tax write-off for you.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, girl. Well, good luck to you the rest of this season. Thanks for taking time to join us on the Racing Nuggets podcast. And I look forward to seeing big things from both of you.
Thank you very much for having us. It was
Thank
it was a very cool opportunity, and we're really excited to see what our future holds, and hopefully you guys are both going to be a part of it as well.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Julie Jorgenson, Taylor Goldman, thanks so much.
Thank you.